The title of this video is How Can Humans Be Happy? Humans want to be happy. Humans live hard to be happy today. But if you look at reality calmly, you see that humans live in pain rather than happiness. In today's newspaper article, there are very few happy people. Every day, from morning till late at night, there are only unfortunate and painful events of world, countries, businesses, organizations, families, and individuals. When I look at people around me, I see a lot of people living in pain due to family problems, health problems, economic problems, relationships, mental problems, internal problems, and environmental problems. A lot of effort has been made to solve these problems. But another problem arises. The problem is constantly happening. So, to forget about these problems, I live a dissipated life of alcohol, gambling, drugs, sexual pleasure for a while. However, the next day, the problem remains unsolved. Only the double row increases. The problem builds up, and the habitual escapism increases. On the other hand, pain doesn't go away. Can't you solve this misfortune? Doesn't this misfortune go away? Since the time of human history, these questions have historically been addressed by many philosophers as well as heroes. So I'm going to find the answer to this question in terms of gospel and evangelism. First of all, before I find the answer to this question, I would like to find out the biblical cause of this misfortune. 1. The most fundamental cause of unhappiness is that humans have broken off their relationship with God. In other ways, they became enemies with God, or because the Spirit of God has left and is not in the human mind now. To explain the current situation more easily, there are many items with barcodes or QR codes at supermarkets that sell daily necessities. But this QR code, when you look at it from the human eye, only the shape of the code, not the details of the code. This small QR code can store 4,296 characters. However, if you want to see the letters in this QR code, you can't see them with your human eyes, but you can only see them through the QR code reader. Humans already tell us a lot of information, including the world created by the Lord God, the world that is still preserved in lead, the touch of the Lord God that maintains the moment, the reason why humans live in the world, the purpose of living, and so on. And even now, he says a lot of things every moment. Unfortunately, however, it cannot be felt with the human eye and mind. This is because the relationship with God is cut off, and the Spirit of God, the leader who can know God, is not in the human mind. This is a human tragedy. 2. Because there's no Spirit of God, humans decide and live every thought and action they live. However, this action and result are different thoughts and actions from Lord God's point of view. This is defined as a sin in Romans 3:23, declaring that everyone has committed a sin. 3. Humans continue to think and act differently from the perspective of the Lord God, and they accumulate. In Romans 3:10, the Lord declares that there is no righteous man, so there is no righteous man. In other words, now the Lord God declares that man is a sinner. 4. From the perspective of the Lord God, humans fall into pain due to the accumulation of other thoughts and actions, and the results continue to appear, and even to the descendants. In other ways, humans have different thoughts and actions from the Lord God, and I know that something is wrong. But without knowing exactly what it is, humans wonder and accumulate. As a result, mentally, humans accumulate depression, anxiety, fear, and fear through pain, anxiety, conflict, and stress. And humans lead a life that is worthless and reckless. This is what Matthew 11:28 of the New Testament describes as hardworking, heavy-duty loaders. 5. When mental pain builds up, humans eventually appear as diseases in their physical parts. Various diseases appear in humans, get diseases of unknown cause, and suffer and spend time in pain. In Matthew 8:16 of the New Testament, in the evening, people take a lot of ghosts and explain this condition to Jesus at the edge. 6. Human beings make every effort to solve these problems. They try to solve it by looking for experts in the world, and they ask for help from a huge invisible being. And so humans pray for the temple that houses the figures of the human beings, the figures of the animals, the figures of the fantasy, the hymen, the tarots, or the figures that are easily seen around them. So humans want to solve this problem. 7. In the end, many of the problems that humans have come across as the most fundamental problems as we go back to their roots. In the Bible, this fundamental problem is cut off from human relations with God. Man has become an enemy with God. The Spirit of God has departed from men. Explain that humans do not have the Spirit of God. For example, there are countless cities all over the world and they have big rivers. The larger the rivers go downstream, the larger the river, the wider the river, and the numerous tributaries combine to see a strong current flow. But as we go up the upper reaches, and as we get closer to the source, we see very little water coming out. As the small water from the source flows down, it merges with the surrounding tributaries to create a huge waterway. All human problems also seem complicated with a lot of problems. But when you trace the source of the problem, it becomes the simplest. It has broken off its relationship with the Lord God to men. Because man has no spirit of the Lord God, what do you think about the sad reality of our human beings?